Hey everyone, thanks for joining us on our adventure. Well, we made it to Vancouver Island and to our first stop, the Morden Coal Mine. So the BC government's actually turned this into a provincial park, and they've done a lot of work to restore this tipple. Built by the Pacific Coast Coal Mines in 1912, this colliery was shut down immediately after locating the major coal seam due to the miners' strike of 1913. During its closure, it was updated with state-of-the-art facilities, including fire-resistant concrete, headframe, and tipple, making this one of the most advanced coal operations of its time in Canada. So while it was the first of its kind in North America, it's also one of only two left standing, the other one in Illinois. The main shaft was 9 by 16 feet and was sunk 600 feet to reach the Douglas coal seam, a massive seam at 2.5 kilometers wide and 8 feet in height. The first sod was turned at this mine in 1912. In the first year of operation, this mine produced about 76,000 tons of coal. And those who don't know what a tipple is a structure used at a mine to load the extracted product for transport. Typically into railroad cars. You can actually see some of the old rail ties down here, but it basically lifted out of the ground with the hoist and pulleys up there, and then you could actually see that's where they would dump it into that big chute there. And there was a hole at the bottom. I think we'll get a better view of it on the other side. And then the rail cars would go underneath and it would dump. Usually they had a screen that would separate the larger chunks from the small. Where those three chutes are is where the rail cars would pull up to be loaded. They built their own railway to haul coal to Boat Harbour. It was then loaded onto ships and taken to Vancouver, San Francisco, Victoria, Chile, Hawaii, and Alaska. A little bit of a foundation here. Not so sure what would have been here. Cheyenne and Addison are already up the Miners Trail. Another foundation here. The shaft was sunk to speed up the removal of coal in 1912. It was also used to improve airflow. Sitting on top of the shaft was a fan house containing a giant ventilation fan blowing into the mine. Well, we got a little bit more of some pieces of foundation there. This stanchion was used to hold a pipeline that went from the water tower down to the site, and it was used to wash coal. A secondary one was used to supply water past the powerhouse into the boiler house. That's a really good view of it here. Oh, that's stairs, going down. Right there. Likely the remnants of the powerhouse, water was heated in the nearby boiler house, and most of the operation at the mine was ran by electricity, created by steam. Oh, that's cool. You can see the brick up inside. This arch formed the base of the 60-foot smokestack and was housed in the boiler plant. Built in 1913, the boiler plant contained 350 horsepower high-pressure boilers. These boilers connected to the 66-inch diameter stack, providing the power to operate all systems for the mine. Really just neat. Again, this is over 100 years old. It's great that it's here, and it looks like people are fairly respectful and stay on the trails that are marked. This is the back side of it here. Just a quick little walk around and get to see some great history. And on the left side of the trail here, there once was an old road. Today it leads to private property. But there used to be an old town site called the South Wellington, named after the high-quality Wellington brand of coal found north of Nanaimo. At one time, over 400 people lived in the village, either working at the Morden or in nearby mines. The town site included several boarding houses, miners' cottages, shops, and a recreation hall. Oh, and the trees here. A couple more footings. And then another one over there. And then coming up to another section of, there was another building. A little bit of spray paint on it, but it's really neat when you see, if the foundations and stuff is also incredible that it's still even here. But seeing things like the stairs, that's where, again, like miners walked up and down, and it's just something a little bit different about that for some reason. You can almost picture them. Nanaimo's coal deposits were the first known large deposits on the west coast of the Americas. Coal was the economic driver of the Vancouver Island economy, home to some of the most dangerous mines and the second worst coal mining disaster in Canadian history. More than 1,000 miners lost their lives, 600 of them in the Nanaimo area, 3 of them here at the Morden. If you weren't a miner yourself, you certainly knew someone who was, knew someone who'd been hurt, or even worse, killed underground. Most often identified with a miner's tag and number, these men prayed they'd see their loved ones at the end of their shift. Many others, who have not been accounted for, died of injuries and industry-related illness, such as black lung. Some families lost their fathers, sons, and brothers over several years. It is these men, some of them just boys, and the thousands of coal miners who survived fatal injury and their families that we honor with the memorial at Morden.